So here is my hip mobility routine for allowing me to get into an ass to grass squat, or at least get well below parallel in my squats. I use this band to help distract my femur bone to get my hamstring nice and stretched out, so that way I can improve my flexion of my hip. That way I get to a deeper squat while allowing my femur bone to have space. And I flex my hamstring, or I lock out my leg to kind of help stretch out my hamstring as well as I do this. Sort of like a downward dog position. In this position here is I'm pressing my knee. You can't see it, but I'm on an ab mat or some sort of soft surface, so I can dig my knee into the ground as I push the femur bone in to my pelvis. That way I can, again, improve that hip mobility. The further it's in the socket, the more leverage it's gonna have. And then what I do is since I'm on the side, I turn around and I stretch out my hip flexors. Most of us know that our hip flexors get very tight. It makes our back overarch and tends to get really, really overused. So what I'll do here is I'll have the band here pull me forward while I stretch my quadriceps, and mainly my rectus femoris and the psoas, as I kind of stretch that out really good. And then what I do next is I set myself up for kind of the shape that allows you to get into a deep squat. And this is Kelly Starret talks about this a lot, mobilizing the shape that you're going to create. And in this case, this is my right side. I'm essentially lunging, but I'm squatting with one side. I want my leg to help basically improve this knees out position, so that way I can improve my position in the bottom of the squat. You can see I'm holding my ankle, so that way I keep my foot down, so that way I can kind of promote that movement pattern when I do regular squats. And you can see I'm just stretching and just pushing that knee out. Next, what I do is I do a similar approximation stretch where I dig my knee into the ab mat or some soft surface to allow my hip to kind of go into the socket better, and then allow the band to pull it out to the side, so that way I can get lower into the squat and improve my flexibility and mobility. And then here, this last one that I do is I actually stretch out my piriformis. This is like a pigeon pose in yoga, if you're familiar with yoga. And what this does is it allows me to get, again, more external rotation, allow more shoulder knee abduction, so that way I can create that torque in the hip. And that's kind of what I do. This is my main thing that I like to do. I try to be very quick about it because I want to get to my workout right away and start warming up. And here I always like to show a retest. This is the right side. I only mobilize the right side to show you that there's a difference. And you know what? There wasn't that much of a difference. Well, I can feel a difference because usually my hip clicks and pops because I have very stiff tissues in the hip. But one thing's for sure, my right side is much tighter. And actually on this side, you might be able to notice, excuse the wedgie, you notice that I actually have a little bit more hypertrophy and a little bit of asymmetrical weight shift to the left. And that's because I'm more flexible and stronger on my left side when I squat. And what this allows me to do when I do those flexibility movements, it allows me to stay down lower, especially on the right side, and get that right heel down and allow my right hip, glute, and quad to work a lot better when I do squats. So these are just some things to consider when you're trying to squat ass to grass. That way you can get proper development. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Let me give credit where credit is due. I got all these stretches and mobility tactics from Kelly Starret of the Mobility WOD. I mentioned him in the video, but I want to make sure he gets the credit. You check out his channel. He's a really great stuff on trying to get mobile. If you're a human movement nerd or a personal trainer or some sort of coach, his stuff is awesome. It's helped me, along with a combination of my years of knowledge of training people, along with NASM certifications. I've been able to kind of combine the two ideas or kind of viewpoints of human movement and allow me to understand my body and human potential better, so that way I can improve other people's fitness through moving better, as well as helping me move better.